Michael, what does this deal mean? Is it of significant importance in terms of sales for your company?
Yes, it's tremendous for us, and it's validation just in general.
Why?
Having GM select Blink Charging to use our charging stations at their dealerships, both for servicing the cars, delivering the cars, and customer facing, after they went through a tremendous vetting process of all the equipment available to them, I think is tremendous validation for Blink Charging as a company.
All right,
Besides the sales that we're going to receive.
Yeah, I mean, what does it let you do in terms of that validation? Does it give you an entree to others as well? Or, again, for a company that is still in its early stages, what did you have last quarter? $6.4 million in revenue. Where is this going to lead?
If you look at the numbers, there's 4,600 dealerships in the territories that we're working with them on. Look at 10 charging stations, maybe even more in years to come per dealership. The numbers are astronomical, especially from a scale and size of our footprint. But what it does is it really gets our charging stations out in front of the consumers, the drivers. Our main business is not selling equipment. Our main business is owning and operating charging stations in the field where we generate our recurring revenue through the sale of fuel, energy. So this allows us for more customers to know who we are, more dealership level face-to-face sales. It works in our favor across the board. And this is not just the only OEM that we work with. There are a whole bunch of them. Unfortunately, certain times you're allowed to mention you can deal with or not. But the best way to understand what Blink's been accomplishing over the last little while is download our mobile app, go on our web portal, zoom in on our map, and look at a list view, and you could start seeing CarMax, AutoNation, even Audi dealerships that have Blink charging stations in them. So this is the way we're going to get recognition. Yes? To
your point, Michael, in terms of the deployment around the country of the stations that are going to actually start to generate recurring revenue for you, where are you? What are the expectations, let's call it, for the end of this year in terms of how many you're going to actually have out there versus what you have right now?
Substantial growth in our business. A lot of people are unaware of the fact that just because Build Back Better has not gone through, that the infrastructure money for charging stations hasn't been approved. That's not the case. $7.5 billion has been earmarked towards the deployment of charging infrastructure throughout the United States. That's going to continue. We're going to be able to take tremendous advantage of that capital available for us to deploy charging infrastructure that we own and operate and have a recurring model on. It's extremely exciting times for us. And again, having our chargers at the point of purchase at the dealership level like we have with GM gets our brand out there. It allows those to know that Blink is one of the leaders in the infrastructure charging space.
Yeah, Michael, it's Morgan. When we talk about that recurring revenue model and you talk about, I guess, the importance of the moneymaker that is the sale of fuel or energy, as you put it, given the fact that we do see energy prices at multi-year highs, we see electricity at multi-year highs, how does that translate to the prices that you're charging consumers that are going to be using your stations? Are you able to pass all of that cost on? And is it still easy to get that energy, to get that electricity as you continue to expand your footprint?
There's no problem getting the energy for our charging stations. I'm not sure if you followed, but recently British Petroleum came out, who owns a decent amount of charging stations, says the profitability on their charging stations will outweigh the profitability on their gas pumps. There is a tremendous opportunity now with the switchover of mobility from using fossil fuels to using electricity. And Blink has positioned itself not only on the recurring revenue sales model of selling the fuel, but also, as we've done with GM, is selling hardware. We are the only fully vertically integrated EV charging infrastructure company in the States. There are those who sell hardware. There are those who sell networking services. There are those who sell both. And then you have your owners and operators. Blink is the only company today that not only do we design our charging infrastructure specifically to needs of our customers, the network that the charging stations operate, which also is compatible with any hardware manufacturer that complies with OCPP, the protocol and standards. We're able to put that hardware on our network as well. Blink owns a substantial amount of its charging stations. We're in every facet of the marketplace, and we believe the long-term most viable component of that business is the recurring revenue model, which is the sale of fuel, where we have long-term exclusive contracts with property owners for many, many years, whether it's 15 years, even 21 years in length, where we're the sole provider of providing EV charging services, whether it's e-bikes or EVs or even some of these flying drones that are going to land on the roofs of these buildings in the future.